everyone, welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I should probably mute the TV because I'm watching Sam from Makes currently, and we're going to give her a little pause. She's opening a December puff flower subscription, and oh my god, the yarn is beautiful. It's purple, it's white with yellow sparkles, and it looks like a Christmas angel. Now, you can check out Makes on her channel. It's spelled M-A-N-F-A. Makes. She is in the UK. What am I doing today? I'm sitting on the couch. Got my Christmas tree. And that purple. And I'm combing the heck out of some buffaloes. Now, that's what this video is going to entail. You're going to see some of the process. I'm being kind of rough with it at this point because I've gotten to the bottom of the bag and this is nasty down here. I had to change my shirt because I had my really cute Christmas shirt on and it's now brown. And it was white. And the bottom of the bag is a lot of short fibers. Dirty, dirty, dirty short fibers. The bottom of my bucket is nasty. There's broken pieces of fiber and a whole lot of dirt. Little man's upstairs having fun all by himself. Most of the dogs are laying in their dog bed. Scarlett will not eat today because she is throwing up, and I don't know what the heck is wrong with her. Only thing I could figure is she's eaten too many pieces of her rubber toy from Bully Make. I had a subscription for the dogs for a year, and it was a fantastic subscription box, and I enjoyed it. Except, those toys are not indestructible, and within 5 minutes, Scarlett would have chunks of the rubber toy chewed up. And she thinks it's bubble gum, so I have to constantly watch her and take it away from her, but sometimes Bentley sneaks them outside, and I'm not so lucky to get to them before she eats the pieces. And I went to go cancel my subscription to Bully Make, and I got a response that they wanted an explanation why I was canceling it. Well, you don't need one because I'm canceling. I said I wanted to cancel. So they charged me for another month. And then I was like, I said I wanted to cancel. Well, you didn't reply to our email with an explanation. Why do you need an explanation? Why do you need an explanation? I don't want the service anymore. I paid for the year that I signed up for. Gave them an explanation anyway. Your toys are not indestructible. My dog keeps chewing them. And I don't have the option for four toys. I now have 4 dogs in the house. Okay, but we can't refund you, so... Alright, well... Now you have just ensured that I'm not going to come back to your service because whatever. So anyway, this video, if you're new here and you came just because it says Buffalo Fluff, this is not an educational video at all. I'm going to put in some clips of what I'm doing, what I've done. I'm going to talk over my experience. I've never done this before. I'm a newbie. So you're not probably going to learn a whole lot from me. You're just going to see and experience what I'm experiencing with this. Like I said, this bottom part is not going to be good for a whole lot because it's really, really short fibers. Like, it is real short fibers. I'm just brushing it out in case I want to use it for stuffing or fluff, which is, I know, is really ridiculously expensive fluff. I could make a buffalo stuffed pillow because buffalo is really, really good for insulation. Or I could learn a new craft and learn how to felt it and make little baby buffaloes. Now, if you're one of those people that have to correct me, I know that it's called a bison technically. I've always known it as a buffalo, and I'm not going to change saying a buffalo because buffalo is a buffalo and a bison's a buffalo. Okay? That's all there is to that. This stuff is really grody, though. And, yeah. All you're going to see in this video is me brushing it and talking about me brushing it. It looks... Part of this looks like it was swept up off the barber floor. But once it gets combed out, it's really soft and beautiful. And I was telling Juju this would make really good hair weave because, like, it's soft and beautiful and it feels to me like hair. Isn't that pretty? I just think it's beautiful. It's soft. And once I get the dirt and the crud out, it feels fantastic. But getting to that point has been tedious. And I'm close enough to the bottom where a lot of it is just gross and really short pieces. But I paid so much for this, I don't want to waste any of it. So see this? This can't necessarily, I know it doesn't look much different than that. Some of the pieces are just fluff. And it can't necessarily be spun as is because the fibers are too short. I can blend this with wool and spin it that way and have like a wool blend, which I probably will do. And I've got it all in one bucket together. But it's really easy to tell apart the short fibers, which look like little balls of, it looks like it's off the barber floor. Or the pieces that are combed and they're longer staples. So, and I know it might be hard for you to tell, but I can tell because these are much longer pieces. And this very easily can be spun and drafted. See, that's what it's going to look like as yarn. Whereas this one, which is the shorter pieces, I mean, I essentially could spin it, but I'm probably going to spend more time like of it falling apart because the pieces are so small. Like I could technically spin it, but the shorter pieces are probably going to end up with a wool or blended or something else. I don't know. Let's see. Look at this. Isn't that gross? And so when I shake it over the bucket, because I have a Home Depot bucket underneath me, there's just crap raining off of it. So I am, and Ponyo is so interested. Let me show you. Ponyo. She's a good girl, though. She's only trying to taste it and not actually taking and running off with it, which she was doing the other day. Pañosita, that's a good girl? Say hi. No, you're a good girl. Your mom is at work. You're lonely. Do you want to come up here on the couch with me? Come here. Come here. Come here. I know, I swore the dogs would not be allowed on the couch, but Oreo's right here, too. I've been trying to fight Oreo to keep her off the couch, and it's not working because I took the dog couch away, and for some reason she does not like the big giant dog bed that is big enough to fit a human and 3 dogs. Ask me how I know. Every one of the children that I have raised, even though 2 of them are adults, has gotten in that dog bed with them dogs and laid down. Now technically it's a human dog bed. It was advertised as a human dog bed. But it's big enough for 4 dogs, so that's why I bought it. The Oreo is too good for that dog bed. She's like, no, I'm going to lay on your couch. And keep yelling at her. She's 10 years old. She's filled with tumors, so I'm just going to let her get away with it. But, yeah. Let's get on to the combing. And I'll show you. I'll turn the camera around and show you how I started the process. Because a lot of it I already recorded. And I'll do voiceover for you so you can see why I'm doing what I'm doing. And understand watching this video that I've never done anything like this before. These are brand new. I'm not entirely sure what I was doing. I was being much more careful in the beginning. And now I'm just treating it like nappy hair. And I'm just combing the heck out of it. So, we're just doing that. And I have lots of experience with nappy hair because Juju has textured hair and Hermione has textured hair. I don't know why Hermione has textured hair, because she's not Mexican like Juju is, but I never brushed her hair like this, but I have experience with textured hair. So
we are digging through the
with
bag
that, let's
of
go
the
actually
dirty
watch
pieces
what I'm
of
doing, and
buffalo.
I'll explain.
It is
And
very
you'll see, I'll show you the
matted
difference between the short fibers and the long fibers when I'm combing them.
and smelly.
And we'll
at this
talk
point.
about all
It smells
that.
like dust.
Right, let's turn it around.
I am using a Home Depot bucket that I have used for yarn purposes for the past several months. I use it for dyeing and washing and all that good stuff. I'm just pulling apart parts of it to get a feel for the fiber at this point. And this is when I first started out. I didn't know what I was doing or how I was going to tackle this. And I ended up using the bucket for waste instead of holding the fluff, which you will see later in the video. I actually was transferring it to a scented garbage bag. Hopefully that the scent comes off on the buffalo a little bit so it doesn't smell so dusty. The whole purpose of me pulling this apart is to comb it to release some of the dirt that is trapped in the fibers and some of the hay and vegetation matter that is trapped in the fibers at this point. And as you can see, I'm wearing a white shirt at this point, which was a mistake. And I ended up having to change because I was covered in just soot. Just straight soot at the end of this. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing at this point. I just was playing. I was trying to figure out what was the best way to tackle this. So I started off just combing it, kind of like I would do on my hand carders. Well, these are hand carders, but like the big flat panel one. And I brushed it out to test the fibers, and these were short fibers. And you will also see in this video, it goes back and forth between short fibers, medium fibers, and much longer fibers. And they kind of separated themselves out, which I'm kind of glad for. So I'm just combing and trying to get a feel for this because it's the first time I've ever had hand carders in my hands. So be gentle when you're watching this. Like, don't criticize me too hard because I didn't know what I was doing. Through the process, though, I did get a better feel, and I came down with a method that looks nothing like this. It looks nothing like this. So I was just trying to comb it a little bit, and this did release a lot of the debris doing it this way. Just trying to comb it out like this. But it was not very efficient. And if I didn't mute the regular sound, you would hear me watching White Christmas in the background because I love Bing Crosby. And then I just combed it between the two brushes until it was smooth and I didn't see any big chunks of dirt in there anymore. And I'm combing it back and forth. This is just me getting a feel for the carders. And then pulled it off and recombed it, which was not necessary at all. And it just made a mess. It's like using one of those circular brushes and twisting it around your hair. That's pretty much what I did here. And I'm examining my work, seeing if I did anything positive or good. Picking through a little bit, just getting a feel for it, honestly. It's just me trying to get a feel for it. Picking out the debris. If I would have kept up with this method, it would have looked way worse. It would have taken me so long. See all the dirt that came off just that little tiny piece? Disgusting. By the end of this video, all of my clothes were covered in dirt. The entire floor around this area had to be Swiffered because it was covered in dirt. And you will see what is at the bottom of that bucket because, spoiler alert, it looks like the crap you take out of your vacuum. It was bad. I'm glad I did it. And I found it to be relaxing. I found this whole process, once I got into a rhythm, I found it to be relaxing. See how there's this really long strand? This really long strand had really long fibers on it. And then there were parts of it that had really short fibers that looked more like matted dog. And after doing this for about an hour, I finally figured out what I was doing and determined that the longer pieces could be fed through my hand and not broken apart like I was doing here. But the smaller pieces need to be treated like this because they needed to be combed out extra and they needed extra work put into them to create a more reasonable fiber fluff that I believe I'm going to turn into probably dryer balls if I can. We're going to wait and see. I'm certainly not going to let any of this fiber go to waste. I'm going to use every last drop of it if I can, because buffalo is ridiculously expensive. I'm just going to voice over this because I really hate videos that have music over them. It drives me crazy. So Cinnamon Stitches is watching her own video and critiquing my own self while we listen to me talk. While I'm sitting here, my dinner is getting cold next to me because I decided to edit a video instead of eat my dinner. Welcome to Cinnamon's world. I'm going to pause the video in a minute on the screen, not while I'm talking to it. And then I'm going to switch to 4 hours down the road. And you're going to see a little bit difference of what I was doing here and how I was doing it. And I'm going to talk to you about the fiber lengths, because that's what I was looking at here. It's like some of these fiber lengths are different lengths. And it's really soft. And it doesn't feel as gross at this point anymore. And of course, Scarlett wants to talk with us. And Ponyo's going to bark. You see how these fibers look longer when I pull them? Whereas the other fibers were just balled up on there. And then this is when I realized, wait a minute, these are way longer than the fibers I just had on here. What is going on? And here is, I was only maybe a quarter of the way through the bag. This is like an hour in, and there's that much crap in the bottom, just that fell off, just dirt, crud. Bits of broken hair. It looked like the bottom of a beauty shop, like a barber shop, like all the, bits and hairs. You see my tripod leg. That's a sexy tripod. You see how long this fiber is right here? So this is my new technique. I was feeding it through my hand a little bit at a time and treating it like I was combing hair. So I was brushing just the ends, which was pulling off the fiber and aerating it while letting the debris fall into the bucket. And after this point, you will see just how much debris falls. See how long these fibers are and luxurious, and they're so soft? I would just feed up a little bit and I would comb it like I was brushing hair. And again, I've never seen anybody treat buffalo fibers. So this is just me trying to get a feel for everything and just doing what works. So I would get these beautiful little fluff piles. I would take it off and that was a dog hair. You see the white dog hair? And I would set them in a different bucket, which contained of a box grocery bag from Aldi that I lined with a scented garbage bag. And it's crazy because the bag that it's coming out of is all matted, and that bag is about an 8-gallon garbage bag. And the bag that it filled up was a 20-gallon garbage bag. So it went from 8 gallons in volume to aerated and fluffed up. It filled up 20 gallons, and it's still just a pound of wool, of buffalo fur. Okay, so I'm showing you the long fibers here and how I treated the long fibers. All right, now I'm digging for a shorter fiber so you can see the difference, because it kind of blew my mind. And some of it was like matted and like, look at that, little tiny fibers. So I'm showing you that you have to do it this way because the fibers are much, much shorter. Some of the fibers were as little as a ½ inch. So I would put it on this way, and then I would comb it the way I did at the beginning, just to get the debris out. That's all I'm doing, is getting the debris out. I'm not trying to make anything out of it. I'm just trying. Look at this one's real pathetic. Look how tiny these are. Look at that. You see how small those little fibers are? So you kind of have to push them on the comb and then comb them. And this, I'm not going to be able to spin this at all. It's just too short. I could probably blend it with something else. It will felt. I'm sure that it will be able to felt. But I'm not going to be able to spin it. All right, so that big old mess. All that dirt. Look at how pretty that is. It's nice and light and fluffy and beautiful, and it's soft. Just getting the dirt off made it so much softer. It was amazing. We are approaching the end of the pile. I've been sitting here 3 or 4 hours brushing through a pound of buffalo fluff. Now, I have gotten a lot of yuckies off of it. That is a lot of dirt, hay, and it honestly looks like the stuff that comes out of the vacuum cleaner. So there's obviously broken fibers and stuff in there, but it's not anything that is usable. It's literally like emptying this crap out of your vacuum cleaner. I have very little left, and I wanted to kind of show you what I'm doing. I hold the long piece in my hand because it's very matted and natted, and there's parts of it that's just really gross. So I just hold it and I feed it along the brushes and I brush it through, and what's happening is all that extra crap is falling into the bucket. And I know this is not an angle for you really to be able to see what I'm doing, because if I lean back too far, I am going to end up wearing all of this, and I'm already wearing a lot of it. Don't mind the toilet paper back there. I've been using that to blow my nose today. But the long hairs are sticking on one paddle for the most part, and the short, gross hair are staying on the paddle that's on the bottom. I'm just combing it the same way you would comb your hair, like combing it from the bottom ends, because it pulls out the loose bits and it gets the tangles out. That's just what I'm doing. And the only reason I'm doing this process at all is because this is what it looks like. I can't even show you because the light is so bad. Hang on. I'm also working on my phone. So as you can see, that's what we have left. So see how the dirty bits that are in there? Combing it, see the dirty bits that are stuck in there? It cleans the dirty bits out. See how there's none on this side? And it all falls into the bucket. And then it goes over into this container, which I know it looks gross at this point, but it is luxurious and soft and beautiful. I know that it looks, I'm also filming on my phone, so it doesn't look real great. It is going to be beautiful fiber. And because doing this also is aerating the yarn a little bit, it's fluffing it up. The volume, the amount of space that it takes up has probably tripled. So I have switched the buffalo fur, the fluff. I put it in a scented garbage bag. It is a Febreze scented garbage bag to hopefully take out some of the more musty smell that is still hanging around from this, because it smells dusty like it's been in somebody's basement for a long time. And remember, I bought this from a creative reuse store, so this got donated.
We don't know how she stored it or where she stored it or how long she stored it for. And it smells like it's been stored for a good long while. It doesn't smell like dirty animal. It smells like dust. So that's what I'm trying to alleviate, is whatever has collected in this fur over time while it was being stored. And this is a arduous task. It is. It has taken me hours and hours and hours. It's a little bit soothing because I like playing with fiber, and I really feel like I'm brushing somebody's hair. I really do. So it's like brushing a buffalo without getting kicked or stomped or ran over or murdered, because buffaloes are big giant murder cows. They will kill you. They will trample you. Do I still love buffalo? Yes. Do I want to pet one? Probably not. Do I like seeing them in the wild? Absolutely. And I have pet a buffalo before, because somebody commented on my buffalo video when I was talking about this fluff. She said she went to animal park in Ohio. I was like, I've been there. I've been at that animal park. You can feed buffalo and all kinds of weird animals they have. They had giraffes. I don't know if they still do. Giraffes don't like Ohio weather because it's cold. And so they have a hard time keeping it there, keeping them alive. And so, and every once in a while I have to come and clean off both the brushes because the buildup is. But yeah, buffaloes have really, really, really hot breath. Just so you know, that's just little knowledge. And I don't know how much I'm going to get off of this last little bit, because it's bits and bobs. That looks like a dead animal. Roadkill. We're still going to try it. Yeah, these are all the short fibers. So I'm still going to comb it out, because if I can learn to felt it, and I can felt it, I will at least, because this was expensive, in case you didn't catch that video. Buffalo fiber is ridiculously, ridiculously expensive. See how short these fibers are? They won't even puff up that way. They're just, this is good for what I understand, it's really good for filling a quilt. It's really good for filling a pillow or anything like that, because it has extra warmth in it. And it's good for felting. And then I was wondering, can you make dryer balls out of buffalo the way you can with wool? Because I'll make some dryer balls. Dryer balls are expensive. Have you seen dryer balls at Walmart? They're like $10 a piece. So, if I can clean them up, and I can turn them into a dryer ball, which just involves felting it, I have no problem putting that a little extra work in to make a dryer ball. Dryer balls are supposed to be good for your clothes. Not entirely sure why or what they do, but it's supposed to be good for absorbing static. And actually, me and Lucas did science. We were learning about science, and they were talking about electrons, and they were talking about the transferring of energy and how energy transfers through the electrons if the amount of electrons and protons, I think, are not equal or something. Like, they will transfer from one object to the next, which causes static and what have you. And it was talking about how the chemical compound of wool, because the electrons and the protons are not equal, if I recall. I mean, I learned it, but I don't retain all of the information I teach him. It said that it's the reason you get static shocks and stuff from wool specifically. Wool carpets, wool socks, or something like that. Just shaking that off. So, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I have enjoyed working with the wool, and I've enjoyed trying to educate you guys with any questions I anticipate you guys giving to me. I'm going to have a huge mess on my floor to clean up when I'm done. And I apologize if that light keeps shining in your eyes, but like I'm using it to be able to see because it's kind of dark out. It's approaching night now. It's actually dinner time. And I'm just trying to see because this is like working with black yarn almost. I mean, it's dark. It's dark. That's almost my natural hair color. See? And I would not have done that had I not brushed it out first, because who knows what's living in here. Like, my hands feel so grody. Like, at first I was like, I'm not sure this is actually buffalo. Like, I feel like, because it looks like it's from the, I worked at a barber shop, okay? I know what the wool, yeah. I know what hair looks like being swept up off the floor, because I used to do that job. And and it just reminds me of hair. And I can't not think of it as looking like hair. And so I was like, did I buy hair? Is this hair? And then, like, every once in a while I get a smell, and it smells kind of like dirty hair. And I'm like, what the heck did I buy? I have no doubt that she would, I mean, I don't think she would sell me anything that was, she wasn't sure that it was buffalo. But I have just really, really enjoyed this whole process. I find it relaxing and soothing. I've had a couple people over the years, when I discovered how much I love working with fiber, I've had a couple people say, why would you want to do that? You have no idea how much work that is. And I just find it fascinating and soothing. Do I want to do it on an industrial level? Hell no. But do I want to own 15 sheep? No, but to have like a small flock of sheep and do something like this, because I'm not ever going to own buffalo. Because the way to make money off of buffalo is to sell the meat. I have eaten buffalo, but I couldn't kill a buffalo. I just don't have it in me to slaughter an animal. Which I know is probably ridiculous to a farmer. I will gladly eat the meat, but I'm not going to do it myself. So, I am almost done. I am really, really close to the end, and it's just the ends. It's this wool, this fluff that doesn't have a whole lot of use that I know of, but we're still going to put it in the bag, and we're still going to process it. And this is actually much harder to work with because it's the shorter fibers. It's harder to brush out. So if you have any questions on this process or what I've experienced, I don't have all the answers. I am not a professional anything. I'm just here recording my process because I wanted to show what I was doing and how I was doing it. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I really do not. I've watched several videos on processing roving fibers of varying types. There's not any videos that I could find on buffalo. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way. I was going to wash it. I was going to soak the whole matted mess in water and try to get the dirt out that way. And then I was watching some videos on, I found some long fibers are in here. I was watching some videos on them dealing with fleece from a sheep. And the way that they were getting all of the fibers and stuff out was by combing it and putting it on a carder and doing all that stuff. And all of the like plant life and dirt and stuff was coming out. It was like, well, maybe that's the best way to handle it right now. It looks as if one time somebody attempted to make this into a solid like stream of wool. I don't know if that's true or not because I don't know the source of this wool. It's not wool, it's buffalo, but I don't know what's been done to it or if it was just purchased and thrown somewhere for years. I don't know. But I figured if I could brush it and comb it out and get it workable, I can at least get the surface dirt out and hopefully deal with the smell a little bit so that I can spin it without turning it into a felted mess, because I feel like if I washed it, it might felt. And then go from there. And if I can spin it to where it's not real dirty and real stinky, I can wash it once it's made into yarn. And I may be doing this entirely backwards. I may be doing it wrong. I may not know what I'm doing, but it's all a learning process. And at the end of this, come hell or high water, Jen is going to have beautiful buffalo yarn. And maybe some dryer balls. We're going to keep on going until it becomes something. Come on. There we go. Trying to clean out my brush a little bit. Is a hot mess in there. There we go. Got it. See? And now, instead of this bag, which is probably only like an 8-gallon garbage bag, and I know from experience because I used to be a janitor, it's like an 8-gallon garbage bag that was filled with matted, gross, dirty wool. We now have a 20-gallon garbage bag filled to the brim with light, fluffy yarn, wool, fluff, buffalo that is ready to be spun. And was the work all worth it? I hope so. I really do hope so. I hope that my arms aren't killing me for nothing. Look at Grandma and Grandpa. I'm going to call it a day for this video, and I hope that you have enjoyed it. And I know that this is bad filming, and I just filmed it on my phone and whatever. And I hope that you can see what I'm actually doing through the video and you understand what I'm doing. But if you have any questions that you think I can answer that I haven't answered, you can put them in the comments below. Even if I can't answer them, a lot of times there are experts who watch the video to criticize me that can answer your videos. So if you're an expert and you think I'm doing everything wrong, please don't tell me that. But if you can answer some of the questions below, I would appreciate the help with that. Maybe it'll answer some of my questions in the processing. I'm going to end this video. I don't know when I'm going to be able to actually work this. My next step with this yarn is to put it on and make roll eggs out of it. And I have a roll egg video. If you don't know what a roll egg is, there is a roll egg video. And we're going to turn it into roll eggs. I may blend it with other fibers that I have. I don't know what I want to do yet, because that's a lot of brown, and I don't like brown, but I love buffalo. But I don't want to take away from the buffalo essence. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but my next step is going to be roll eggs, which is just lining the fibers up. I'm really hoping Mr. Cinnamon got me a carder for Christmas, because that's a drum carder, because that's what I asked for. But they're expensive, so I don't know if I'm actually going to get one. So the next video will be somewhere down the line. It's not going to be this week, because I'm actually going out of town for a couple of days with Mr. Cinnamon. He has a work thing that we're doing. And with that, I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.